everybody, welcome back. Just today we'll do a nice flow for the evening, get our blood circulating, get moving after we've been sitting, probably working all day. So allow yourself to come down into a nice seated position, comfortable, maybe cross-legged. If this doesn't feel right for you, feel free to just take your legs and let them go out, doing what feels best for you. Bring your hands to your thighs or your knees, palms up or palms down. Just feel your back lengthening. Almost like there's a little thread there just lifting you up. The back of your head in line with your tailbone. Bring your gaze maybe to a nice soft gaze, or closing your eyes if that's what feels best for you. And from here, just allowing your focus to come inward, into your breath. Just this nice, natural breaths. Calming the mind, letting those thoughts just kind of float away. Letting us relax, releasing the tension, releasing the to-do list, the chatter that is continually going on. Knowing that it's there, but letting it calm. Going from those huge waves in the ocean to just calm waves. Feeling that release. Focusing on that breath. And then slowly taking that breath, deepening it, maybe inhaling to the count of 4, exhaling to the count of 4 or 5, just releasing a little longer with that exhale. This is the breath you want to focus. As I always like to remind everybody, please, this is your practice. Do what feels best for you. Listen to your body. Yoga is non-harming, so anytime you feel a twinge of pain, please go into a variation of it or come out of it completely, going into a resting pose. We want to be in the moment. We want to be present, feeling the sensations that are occurring in our body, and then bringing our focus to that breath. That nice, full breath. And if your eyes are closed, open them, bringing your gaze up front, hands to the outside of your body. Inhale, lifting up. Bring your palms together. Exhale, coming to heart center. Inhale, lift up. This time as you exhale, come to the outside of your body, shoulder height, and gently rotate your wrists forward. And then backwards. And then bring your palms together in front of you, opening up those shoulders. Lifting up, inhaling, exhaling, coming to heart center. Bring your hands down to the floor and slowly, keeping your gaze forward. This will help keep that back straight. Walk your hands forward till you feel that stretch in that lower back. And then hold it here. You may not go very far, and that's perfectly fine. And bring your gaze down to the floor. Taking a few breaths. And slowly walking your hands back, bringing yourself back into that seated position. Right hand down to the floor beside you. Lift your left hand into the air, opening up this left side. Releasing that left arm, letting it come down to the mat. Lift your right arm into the air, opening up that right side this time. Releasing that right hand, but bringing it behind you, resting onto the mat behind you, using it for support. And then take your left hand, resting it onto your right knee. A nice gentle twist to your right, not a harsh twist. Alternating to the other side, left hand behind you for support, right hand to your left knee, gentle twist to your left. Releasing that right hand, bringing that behind you as well. Just resting your hands behind you, just lifting your chest, keeping your neck neutral, lifting up, feeling a nice gentle back bend. Now feel free to tuck that chin in if your neck is giving you any issues at all. Just tuck that chin into your chest. And releasing, coming back to center. From here, the way we're going to do it today is we're going to be working from our right side of our mat to the front of our mat, to the left side, back to the front, back to the right. Very slow movements, so you should have no problem. If you do want to change your mat so it's facing sideways to me, feel free to do that. It'll give you a better view. Coming on to all fours into a nice tabletop position. Making sure your knees are underneath your hips, your wrists are underneath your shoulders. Doing a little bit of cat-cow, so allowing your belly to drop, your gaze to lift as you inhale into cow. And then as you exhale, let that tailbone come down, arching that back, letting your head hang into cat. Inhale into cow. Exhale to cat. One more time, inhaling into cow. Exhale into cat. Coming back to that neutral spine, take your right leg, pushing back, straightening that leg, pushing on the balls of your feet, feeling the stretch in the back of your legs. Maybe sliding that foot to the outside of your left foot, looking over your left shoulder. You should be able to see your foot, just pushing again on the balls of those toes, balls of the feet, sorry. Releasing, coming back into that tabletop. Focusing on the other side, straightening that left leg, pushing back. Sliding that foot to the outside of your right foot this time. Looking over that right shoulder. Pushing on those toes. Sliding back, coming into that tabletop position. From here, curling your toes under, lift your hips into the air, coming into your first down dog. Your head will be between your biceps. Your heels may not touch the mat, that's fine. Lifting those heels up. Lift your right leg in the air. Keeping your hips facing forward, allow that right foot to come to the outside of your left foot. Pushing the hips up in the air. Lift that right leg in the air, bringing it down back beside the left foot. This time lifting the left foot in the air, allowing it to come down on the outside of your right foot, stretching back, pushing those hips up. Lifting that left leg into the air, and then allowing it to come down beside the right. And then slowly walking your feet up to your hands. Coming into a forward fold. Knees bent, belly to your knees. Hands to your shin, your back flat, parallel with the floor into a half fold. Bend those knees into a forward fold, palms up, lifting yourself as you inhale into a standing position, arms above you. Palms together, bringing them down to heart center. Now from here, you may also want to have a couple blocks handy, just to kind of, we'll use these later on for helping us with our balance. So from here, into this position, with our hands at heart center, take your left leg, bringing it back. Had to think for a minute there, scary thought. Coming into a high lunge. Bring your arms up. I need a bigger room. Into a nice crescent. Always making sure on your knee placement, you do not want your knee going past that ankle. When you look down, you want to be able to see those toes. Your balance may be off. If it is, just move that back foot a little, making adjustments as you need to. Bring your arms out wide, opening up that chest. And then from here, taking that back foot, sliding it to the outside of the mat. Your arms still out wide, coming into a warrior two. Checking your knee placement. Allowing that back hand to rest onto your left leg, lifting your right arm into the air. Coming back to warrior two. Bending that right forearm, resting it onto your thigh. Lift your left arm into the air and over, like you're trying to build a slide on the left side of your body. And then lifting back into that warrior two. Straighten that front leg. And from here, maybe pushing out that left hip just a little. Reaching forward like you're trying to reach those Christmas cookies. And windmill your arms down into triangle. Bending that knee again, bring yourself into that warrior two. Slowly turn this right foot to face the outside of the mat. So you're in a wide leg stance facing the outside. And from here, bring yourself bending at the hips, coming down, resting your hands in front of you. Walking them over to your left foot and bending that knee, coming into a squat. Maybe you want to do a high squat like this. Or maybe you want to come all the way down. Remember to do it what's best for your body. If you want to try a little balancing from here. And if you want, you can go a little further, wrapping yourself around, binding yourself, kind of One arm underneath your leg, the other one behind you, your hands grabbing together, opening up that chest. Again, doing what feels best for you. Releasing, bring your hands down to the mat, slowly lifting that knee up, turning both your feet towards the left side of your mat this time, coming into that high lunge again. But this time your left knee is in front, your right knee is in back. Lift yourself into a nice crescent, bring your palms together. This time, allow yourself just to fold over, maybe doing about a 45-degree angle. Releasing your hands, bringing them behind you, interlacing your fingers. From here, maybe you want to fold completely over that left leg. Release your hands, letting them come down to the mat. Your right hand on the inside of that left foot. Lift your left hand into the air, twisting to the left. And bring your hand down to the mat. Allow your right knee to come down to the mat, resting. Maybe you want to let the top of your foot rest onto the mat. Again, from here, right hand on the inside of that left foot. Lift your left hand into the air for another little twist to the left. Checking your knee placement. When your left hand comes down, bring it to the inside of your foot, and then slowly walk that foot to the outside of the mat. So as you can see, I turn around here, you're going to look like this. Your foot's going to be here, your feet, your hands, there I go with anatomy issues again. Your hands are going to be right in here. This is a variation of lizard. And then bringing your hands, framing your foot. I'm going to move back over here. We're going to slowly lifting ourselves into that high lunge again, giving ourselves a crescent, and bringing that back foot up to meet with our front foot. From here, lift your knee into the air. And you may want your blocks for this. Maybe you want to grab them, keep them right here. Lift your knee into the air. And then slowly pushing that knee back, almost like you're kicking back. At the same time, bringing the top of your body forward. Coming into this balancing warrior three. Maybe you want to use the blocks resting your hand, or books if you have them. Maybe you want your arms up in front of you, out to the side of you, whatever gives you more support if you want to try the balancing. And then slowly coming back up, bringing that knee down. Bring the knee back up in front of you and resting it onto the mat. Giving your legs a little shake. And then from here, letting this right leg come back again, coming into that high lunge. Bring it up to a nice crescent. Arms out wide. Turning towards the front of the mat, at the same time turning that back foot to face the front of the mat. Coming into that warrior two, bringing your gaze to those front fingers. Allow your right hand to rest onto your right leg, lifting your left hand into the air for exalted. Coming back to warrior two. Bending that left arm, bringing that forearm down to your thigh, lifting your right arm into the air and over, building a slide on that right side of your body. And releasing back into Warrior Two. Straightening that front leg. Allowing your arms to come out. Take your right hip, pushing it back. Reaching forward for those Christmas cookies. Windmilling your arms down into triangle. Bending that knee and slowly lifting back into Warrior Two. From here, bring both your feet facing the outside of the mat. Bring your hands down, bending at the hips, hands down to the floor in front of you. Put your left hand down in front of your face. Lift your right hand up into the air for a nice twist. Releasing, replacing that left hand with your right hand, this time lifting the left hand into the air. And I'm bringing both hands down to the floor. Slowly walk them over to your right leg, bending this right knee. Again, coming into a level of squat that feels best for you. Maybe you want to come all the way, trying a balancing. Maybe you want to go a little further. Bring your right arm, wrapping it around your leg. Bringing your left arm behind you, grabbing your fingers together. Opening up that chest. Remembering, do what feels best for you. Listen to your body. Your body may say, I'm not doing that. Don't do it. Bring your hands down to the floor and slowly lifting yourself up, at the same time turning towards the right side of your mat, coming into that high lunge again. Lifting yourself up, a nice crescent. Bring your hands together, slowly going forward, maybe about a 45-degree angle. Releasing your hands, grabbing up behind you, interlacing those fingers, maybe flowing completely over that right leg. Release your hands, bringing them down to the mat, left hand onto the floor on the inside of your foot. Lift your right hand up into the air for a nice twist. Bringing your hand back down to the mat, slowly dropping that left knee down to the mat. Maybe resting the top of your foot on the mat. Again, coming up into a nice crescent. Dropping your left hand down to the floor, right hand in the air, twisting to the right again. Bring that right hand down to the mat, curling those back toes under, and slowly bringing that back foot up to meet with your front foot. Coming into that forward fold. Bring yourself into a half fold. Back to that forward fold and slowly lifting yourself up. Inhale, palms together. Exhale, coming down to heart center. From here, taking your left knee this time, bringing it up in front of you. And again, maybe you want your blocks handy. Slowly pushing that knee backwards at the same time, bringing the top of your body forward, balancing. Your arms can go out straight, maybe out wide, maybe back. Whatever gives you balance, or maybe you want to use your blocks and have your hands down. And then slowly lifting up, bringing that knee up, and then down to the mat, giving your knees a nice little shake. From here, taking a nice deep inhale, lifting your hands up. This time as you exhale, bring yourself into that forward fold. Bring your right foot back, then your left foot coming into a high plank. Remembering your wrists should be underneath your shoulders. If this is too much, feel free to come down onto your knees. You don't want to put any pressure or anything that doesn't feel right for you. If you want to go right into down dog, please do so. Otherwise, if you'd like to take your own flow, push yourself forward, coming down, up to Chaturanga, Cobra, and then into your down dog. And then from here, coming onto your knees, coming into that sunbird. I'm going to use my blanket to protect my knee. Remembering when you're in tabletop, knees underneath your hips, wrists underneath your shoulders. Straighten out that right leg, lifting it into the air. From here, lift that left arm up, again a little bit more balancing. From here, you can bend that right knee, drawing your left hand back, grabbing onto your foot, lifting up. Releasing, coming back into tabletop. This time, straightening out your left leg, lifting your right arm in the air. Coming into that balancing pose. And if you want, bending that knee, drawing your hand back to grab onto that foot, opening up. And releasing, coming back into that tabletop. And from here, let yourself come back over your legs into a nice child's pose. Maybe resting your head onto the mat, onto your blanket. And then walking your hands back up, bring yourself into that seated position. Slide your legs over to the side. Coming into this position where you're seated, back straight. Your feet are onto the mat, your knees in the air. If you have a blanket, maybe taking it and rolling it so it looks kind of like that. Resting it behind your lower back. If you don't have that, maybe a bolster or taking a block. You're not using it for support at all. You're using it just kind of as an additional little reminder that you want to keep your back straight. I prefer to use a blanket. It seems to work best for me. So from here, take your hands, putting them on your thighs and the back of your thighs. Slowly leaning back just a little bit, and then lifting your feet off the air. You can leave your hands right here if you'd like, bringing them to the side, palms facing each other. And releasing. Bring yourself back up straight. We'll just do one of those today. Moving the blanket off to the side. Allow yourself to come onto your back, keeping your knees in the air. Walking your feet into your body. Have your arms down beside you, palms down. Tilting your pelvis, just lifting yourself off the mat one vertebrae at a time into that bridge pose. Opening up those shoulders, letting them sink into the mat. Slowly lowering yourself back down. Remembering to breathe. One more time, lifting yourself up, one vertebrae at a time. If you want to go a little higher, you can certainly go onto your tiptoes, maybe bringing your hands underneath, clasping them together, lifting you higher. And then slowly lifting yourself or bringing yourself back down one vertebrae at a time. Bring your knees into your chest, giving yourself a nice hug, rocking back and forth. Let your left leg go down, resting onto the mat. Bring your hands behind your right thigh, straightening that leg. Your foot is stuck in the air. And from here, slowly allow that right leg, directionally challenged. Have I told you that yet? Allow that right leg to slowly come to the outside of your body, just until you feel the stretch in your inner thigh. Once you feel that stretch, just hold it there. You don't have to go very far at all. And then slowly bringing it back to center. This time drawing it across your left leg just until you feel the stretch on the outer part of your thigh mat and IT band area. Holding it here. Remembering to breathe. Bringing it back to center. Releasing it, letting it come down to the mat next to your left leg. From here, lifting that left leg straight into the air, grabbing onto the back of that thigh. Slowly letting it come to the outside of your body until you feel the stretch in your inner thigh. And then hold it here. Remembering not to go too deep. And then slowly bringing it back in, this time crossing over that right leg till you feel this in that outer IT band area. Coming back to center. Again, bringing both your knees into your chest, giving yourself a nice hug. Maybe rocking back and forth, massaging that lower back. And from here, let yourself come down completely onto the mat, letting your legs go straight, letting your arms go out. Let yourself just kind of release here, relaxing. Let just have a nice little Shavasana. Giving yourself time to just be, feeling relaxed, feeling all that tension release. A little bit of movement to get your body going, but then to relax and feel so refreshed. Take some time here for you. And until we meet again through video, I hope you have a beautiful, calm evening. Namaste.